Very much. Let me dispel an item of propaganda that is being circulated by the people who see the impeccability of our stance. The MDC stance is consistent. We said this last year, we said this last year, mid last year, end of last year, we are saying it this year, that we are opposed to the third term. At no point did the MDC ever advocate for an extension of any term. Now, where do these people get this propaganda from? They get it from our fight against the delimitation. We fought against delimitation in 2023, and we said that the delimitation must be redone, and the president must proclaim elections after the delimitation. At no point did we suggest that the election must be postponed. We never said that. And we challenge people to go to our constitutional court application and look at the draft order. The draft order is what we were asking the court to do for us. We were never asking for an extension. The people who came to court for an extension were the Triple C. They sent Jeremiah Bamu to come and argue that the election must be postponed by 1 month. We at the MDC were saying the delimitation must be redone, and there was still time to redo the delimitation and still have the election within the timetable. And I want to say the MDC has always had a responsible leadership. Yes, I visited the State House on 2 occasions. The first occasion, I visited the State House as a member, as the leader of the opposition. And in terms of the Constitution, I should interface with the head of state. I went to see President Mnangagwa with the 21 demands. And those demands included the demands for electoral reform, including the diaspora vote. They included the demand for dialogue over the economic and social problems in Zimbabwe. That was the reason why I attended the State House. And we have agreed with my team that despite the fact that the document was confidential, we are going to make it available to the people of Zimbabwe so that they see why we were in the State House for the 21 demands, including the diaspora vote and other electoral reforms. The second time that I went to the State House as head of the MDC was to voice my concern and my disapproval to the head of state himself over the delimitation. So I went and confronted President Mnangagwa that the delimitation report is wrong, and I demonstrated to him how wrong it was. So that is the reason why I went to the State House, and it was with the full blessings of my party. I never took my members of parliament for a party at the State House. I never took my members of parliament to be given bags of rice. I never took my members of parliament to anyone's farm. I went there in order to advance what was good for Zimbabwe. Now, we boycotted the 2023 elections because, number one, the delimitation report still existed, and there was no possibility of a free and fair election. We want that anybody who participates in this election will have consequences that go beyond simple participation and losing the election. They would split. We want, and it happened. We were punished by the Zimbabwe Election Commission. 87 of our MPs were disqualified from participating simply because we had embarrassed the Zimbabwe Election Commission by fighting against the delimitation. We had also embarrassed the state security, who had played an important role in the delimitation commission, and we were punished for it. 87 of my members of parliament were disqualified. And it was irresponsible of me as president to continue without 87 of my candidates. I was serious with taking power and running the affairs of the country. When you are president, you run the country via a parliament, via a cabinet drawn from parliament. Where was I going to draw my cabinet? Where was I going to draw people who were going to run my agenda? And therefore, just like Morgan Tsvangirai did in 2008, we made a principled decision to move out of the election. We let those who participated in the election deal with their mess. We never at any time said that our withdrawal from 2023 equals to endorsement for 2030. I don't see how the two match. They don't match. We were protesting against the delimitation and other malpractices. What must exercise the minds of any right-thinking opposition is the issue of electoral reforms. We want to participate in the elections of 2028, and we want to advocate for electoral reforms. Now, the MDC is not going to sit by and wait for the day of reckoning. We are not going to sit idly by and wait for the day of reckoning. There are enough telltale signs that ZANU-PF and the state are serious about the third term. If they were not serious about the third term, they would not put it as a resolution at their Congress. They would not mention it in the presence of the head of state. They would not punish those people who are against the third term. Therefore, ZANU-PF is serious. And we as the MDC are serious. This press conference is the beginning of our action, our struggle against the third term. We are advising the nation of the reasons why we are going to take certain decisions. And from here, we are going to go into full advocacy, telling the people of Zimbabwe what dangers they are going to be put in. We are going to be approaching members of the opposition, other people in the opposition. We don't care what they've said about us. We don't care how they've reacted to us. What we care for is what is in the best interest of the people of Zimbabwe. So we are going to approach them to make them see light this time that there is a danger. We warned them of the danger of delimitation. They didn't listen. We warned them of the dangers of participating in 2023. They didn't listen. And what has happened, I hope, will make them listen. We are warning them of the dangers of the third term.